On today's show, we're going to make no-bake pumpkin cheesecake.
Mouth-watering family recipes, easy-to-make meals, humor, and faith fill the inspiring show Dano on the Counter. Born with only half a spine, Dano Burkhardt was never supposed to be able to hold his head up. Despite countless surgeries, a stroke, leg amputations, and kidney transplants, Dano developed a contagious love for life. Join Dano as he shares his easy-to-make dishes and the hope that keeps him pushing forward.
For the no-bake pumpkin cheesecake, you're going to need 2.5 cups of ground cracker crumbs, half cup of melted butter, 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, 3 packages of full-fat cream cheese, 1.5 cup of pure pumpkin puree, 1 3/4 cups of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and whipped cream for on top. Hey y'all, welcome into the car here. Today we're going to head to the grocery store to pick up our groceries for today's show. And man, it's getting to be late fall here. It's the weather is definitely starting to change up here in the Northeast. It's 50 degrees out right now. Still wearing short sleeves though. You know, there's not time for the big heavy jackets yet. But something that we have been dealing with at work, and I'm sure you guys have all been dealing with as well, has been COVID. And COVID is kind of rearing its ugly head again here around town. And man, you hear hearing little whispers about lockdowns again, and hospitals beginning to bring masks back and things like that. Of course, I work in the healthcare industry, so we always are kind of on the leading edge of that and trying to find out what the newest thing is and what's going to happen to protect our patients and protect our employees, of course. But man, thank goodness that it doesn't seem to be as bad this year. It seems to be more of a flu type thing and not got some geese on the road there, so we got to slow down for those. But it doesn't seem to be anything too serious. I'm not hearing about hospitalizations or anything like that, so thank goodness for that. But man, it's like every year it seems like we're going to end up dealing with this, and I'm just praying that it all works out and not a lot of people get sick, and it's like I said, just the flu, and just protect yourself, and do the things that you need to do to protect yourself and stay healthy. I know being immune compromised, I got to take certain precautions and things like that and stay away from people. But there's the debates on all this stuff, about COVID and the flu and what it really is and all that. But hey, whatever your stance is on the whole thing, you don't want anybody to get sick. I know in my family had some members. My uncle was in the hospital for over a month with it. So, I take it serious because it does affect us, and people do get really sick. I know some friends that have passed away because of it. So I just, as the weather changes and it starts coming back up, just all you can do is protect yourself. I know I'll do what I can. Not trying to get political on either side of it or whatever, but I just think it's important everybody take care of themselves and do what they can to protect themselves, even from the cold and flu. I mean, if you got a bad immune system or you're 80 years old, that you just got to watch out that you don't get sick. Nobody wants to get sick, and nobody wants to spend, especially the best time of the year, football season. You don't want to be sick where you can't enjoy the games. And so that was my little tidbit on COVID. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore because I don't want to get on anybody's bad side about it. Whatever, my advice to everybody is just take care of each other and take care of yourself this fall, and let's just pray that everybody's healthy and happy and ready for winter, and we can move on, and we'll be back in the spring. So, hey, on today's show today, we're gonna make a no-bake pumpkin cheesecake. Really simple and easy to make. Only a few ingredients. First thing we're gonna need, obviously, is some canned pumpkin puree. So let's head down the aisle and grab that pumpkin. All right, so obviously for a pumpkin cheesecake, you're gonna need pumpkin. Always go with Libby's. I don't know why, it's been a family thing that we always go with that, not the knockoff brands, but 100% pure pumpkin puree, that's what you're gonna need. You only need 1 3/4 cup, so 1 can is plenty. All right, so we're gonna grab our graham crackers. We're gonna make our own crust. You could use a store-bought crust, but we're actually gonna par bake it and mix it with our butter and then put it in the oven for about 10 minutes. So I just found that it's better to make your own crust. And it's really easy. So we'll just grab the crackers, we'll make our own, and we'll make our filling and we'll be ready to go. All right, so for our pumpkin filling, we're gonna need 3 blocks of cream cheese. We're gonna let it soften, then we're gonna throw it on our KitchenAid mixer and whip it all together. We're also gonna make our own whipping cream, so we'll grab some heavy cream and we're just gonna whip it for about, I don't know, 5-6 minutes till it gets real stiff peaks in it. Then we'll fold it all together, throw our seasoning, our pumpkin spice, and our vanilla together, which we already have at home. So we'll grab this, we'll grab our whipping cream, and then we're out of here. So our last ingredient is our heavy whipping cream. We just need 3/4 of a cup. Like I said, we're gonna whisk it all together in our KitchenAid, make that stiff peak, throw it in with our pumpkin and all other spices, and then we're gonna throw it in the fridge and it's done. So let's throw this in the cart, check out, let's head out of here.
For generations, Dick's Home Care has been providing the best equipment and service for patient care at home. Breathe easier with oxygen from Dick's Home Care. Oxygen concentrators give you a continuous oxygen supply at home. Oxygen cylinders supply oxygen without power. And portable oxygen frees you to go. Dick's Home Care technicians will set your oxygen up and make sure you know how to use it. Call the leader in home medical equipment, Dick's Home Care.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Hey y'all, welcome into the kitchen today. Today we're gonna make a no-bake pumpkin cheesecake. One of my favorite combinations, pumpkin, so pumpkin pie and cheesecake. Something I love to eat. I love pumpkin pie, of course, when it's been baked and then it's cooled and throw all that Cool Whip on top. And of course I love cheesecake. That cream cheese, that little tartness from that cream cheese is something that I really enjoy. Chocolate, of course, is my favorite cheesecake, but it's fall. And this is a really simple and easy recipe. I think anybody can try, anybody can make at home. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make some whipping cream. So we have our KitchenAid mixer here. We are going to add some whole whipping cream. And I'm just going to add about 3/4 of a cup to this. And that looks about good there. It doesn't have to be perfect because if you just add more, it's just going to be lighter and fluffier. So no big deal there. We're just gonna beat this probably for about 4 or 5 minutes till we get some stiff peaks in that cream, and you'll see the difference from the liquid to the thickness of it. So we'll get that going there. All right, so we have our crust here that we're gonna make. We have some butter that we melted, some graham crackers that here. We just combine these together just to add that butter in there so that that graham cracker sticks together. And we're just gonna mix that all in there so it's nice and thick. Like I said, you could buy store-bought crust if you want, make it even easier on you, but we're not gonna do that because we like the taste of our own and we like all that extra butter. So we made our own here today. We have our whipping cream going here. Just gonna let that go for about 5 minutes. You'll see that really expand. Next thing I have here is our springform pan. It's a 9-inch pan. All I did was line it with some parchment paper. It's really important that you do that so that way it comes apart off the bottom and that way it releases itself. So you just want to line that and then tighten the pan around that and just cut the edges off, make it look nice and pretty. What we're gonna do is then add our crust to that. Just dump the whole thing in there. Clean off some of those edges. Get all that butter in there. Okay, and then here comes our messy part. We're just gonna press that graham cracker in there into the bottom of the pan. Just use your hands, press it in there. Get that nice crust. You can see our whipping cream starting to thicken up there. All right, then the secret to this, and then on the edges, is just kind of pull it to the edge a little bit, and you want about 1 inch rise all the way around. So just kind of pinch and pull about 1 inch of that crust, and then press down and just go all the way around, pulling that crust up the sides about 1 inch, flattening that bottom all the way around. See how we did that? See how we got that crust going all the way around, about 1 inch up, and then press firm down on the bottom so it's nice and packed. You don't want it falling apart when you go to cut it. You want it all staying together. Now, you could bake this if you want. This is a no bake, so it's up to you, but I usually do bake it for about 10 minutes just to help that crust stay together a little bit better. But by all means, if you want it to be a true no bake, you do not have to bake it. Once you get your filling made, you just put it in the fridge and it's good to go. But in this case, I am going to put it in the oven just for about 10 minutes, just so that crust comes together and it hardens just a little bit. So 10 minutes, about 350, should be good to go. We're going to let our whipped cream go here. We're going to see how it's really thickened up here. Let it go for a couple more minutes. We're going to pop this in the oven, and then we're going to work on our filling. All right, so we have our whipped cream here. You can see that it's really thickened there. You don't want to let this go too much longer because you'll end up with butter. Cream, if you churn cream, it turns into butter, so you don't want that to happen. You can see that it's really come together. It's really nice and fluffy, though. So we're going to turn this down. Actually, we're going to turn it off. We're going to take this out, and we're going to put it in the refrigerator as we make the rest of our filling. And then when we all have our filling done and our whipped cream is chilled, we're going to combine it all together and put it back in our pan for our cheesecake. So we'll take this out, we'll put it in the fridge, we'll start working on our filling. All right, so we have our crust in the oven here. Now we're getting ready to start our filling. We did our whipped cream, that's in the fridge. Now we'll do our filling. We're gonna start with 3 packages of cream cheese. We're just gonna dump these in our mixer here. And we're gonna start mixing these up. And these have been good and softened, so this isn't gonna take long at all. Just gonna whip that up real good. It's real important to use softened cream cheese because if you use the hard stuff, it's gonna be real lumpy. And then when you put it in your filling, you're gonna have like white chunks of cream cheese in your cheesecake. So you just wanna make sure you get this good and whipped. Just scrape down the sides every once in a while. Really only a couple times because this KitchenAid has the spatula in it on the wand, so it does a pretty good job with that. So we'll go ahead and get that going again. Let that clean off your spatula. Kick that up a little bit. And you can see that's already pretty well mixed together. It's pretty creamy already. Turn it up just for another second or so. And to that, can't be pumpkin cheesecake without pumpkin. So we have our pumpkin puree. Obviously, we're going to turn this down because we don't want to make a huge mess because we know that I make a mess all the time in here as I just hit my head off the counter. But we'll dump this in here as well. Doesn't that look good? Ugh. Reminds me of baby food. Just doesn't look very appetizing, but it is delicious. So we got our pumpkin in there. Got our cream cheese. And then we'll just mix that up. This is just going to be like a nice light yellow orangey color. And I've seen people do this almost as like a dip as well. They don't even put this in the fridge. They don't put it in a crust. They make it almost just like a dip. So if you want to eat this with the graham cracker cookies themselves or crackers themselves, you could do that as well. So we're just combining those all together, turning that up. Next thing we're going to add is our sugar. We have our powdered sugar, so we're going to turn this down, dump in our powdered sugar. I was laughing at my friend the other day on Facebook about this. She was using pumpkin to make hummus, and Adrian, I'll have to find out what the recipe is for that, because she is a lot healthier than I am. She's a very active runner, a good friend from high school though, and she was making hummus with pumpkin spice in it, and she was asking me what I was making, and I said cheesecake. And so when I just dumped about a couple cups of powdered sugar in there, I was thinking not the same as something that she was probably making there. So that's pretty well combined, pretty good there. Next thing is we're just going to add our pumpkin pie spice. This has that clove and that allspice and that cinnamon flavor in there that everybody relates to pumpkin pie. So we're just going to add that in there as well. And then we're going to add just a tablespoon of vanilla. That's just going to add a little bit more sweetness to this as well. And that looks pretty darn good. I'm just going to turn this down again and scrape off the sides. And that looks really good. Let that go for another second or there. You can see that color, how that's really changed. Combine that all up. Make sure everything's combined in there. And then the next thing to do is this, we're going to stop this, and then we're going to fold in our whipped cream. We're not going to mix our whipped cream because we don't want to kill the cream and make it runny again. We're just going to fold it in real lightly just until about there's no white streaks in the cream itself. So we'll just take this, we'll turn this off, we'll clean this up, we'll get our whipping cream out of the refrigerator, and we'll begin to fold that all in there together. All right, so we have our filling done here. We have our whipped cream that we just folded in there. Now we're just going to take our crust that we let cool after we took it out of the oven, and now we're just going to spoon this into our crust. This is going to be really good. This should fill your whole 9-inch springform pan. And if you have a little extra, you can just eat it because it's good. Trust me. I don't make anything I don't like, so if I like it, I hope you guys like it. I think everybody at home seems to like everything we do, and that's what we try to do on the show, is stuff that's not too crazy. It's stuff that people can really make, and only a few ingredients. I think that's really important. We don't try to get too fancy here, because that, we all know I'm not a real chef. I'm just having fun up here, trying to encourage people that, hey, whatever God has put you in, whatever situation that you're in, you can do a lot more than what you think you can. Of course, I've had a lot of encouragement, but I hope that through everything that I'm here to encourage others that, hey, this is try something new, you know. Don't put any limits on yourself. That you can always try to do something new. Go think outside the box a little bit. You know, hey, you know, I never thought I'd be on the counter cooking before, but here I am, and now we're on TV doing it. Sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's what makes the show great, right? So this is ready to go. We're gonna throw it in the fridge about 8 hours. You can do it overnight, like I said. You can put it in the fridge, then it's ready to go. I'm gonna cover it because you never know what's in the fridge. You don't want it smelling like onions or anything else that you might have in there. So we'll cover it, put it in the fridge, let it go overnight, and we're ready to eat. So as that's setting in the fridge, we'll head over to the studio for a little encouraging message.
For generations, Dick's Home Care has been providing the best equipment and service for patient care at home. Stay in your home without worry with Bruno mobility products from Dick's Home Care. Bruno has the highest rated stair lift of any brand. They're American-made quality stair lifts and are expertly installed in less than a day. Keep your loved one at home and safe from falls on the stairs with a Bruno stair lift. Call the leader in home medical equipment, Dick's Home Care.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
For generations, Dick's Home Care has been providing the best equipment and service for patient care at home. Disabled? Lead an active life with a wheelchair from Dick's Home Care. Your wheelchair will be properly fitted to you for your comfort. Choose from Dick's full line of mobility products, including manual wheelchairs, custom manual, power wheelchairs, and scooters for both adults and children. Call the leader in home medical equipment, Dick's Home Care.
Hey y'all, welcome to the studio today. Today is kind of a recap, something I just want to go through and talk about who I am to a lot of new viewers that we have now that are catching us online and watching the show on Fox. If you've seen me, you know my story, then you can probably just start getting ready for church and start heading to church now because you probably heard this story 100 times. But for all these new people that are here and watching for the first time, my name is Dano. My life has been one struggle after another, but I am so blessed to be here today and share with you a little bit of an encouragement. Thank you so much for watching this show. And I just want to tell you a little bit about who I am, why I'm in this wheelchair, how this show came about, and who I am really. I was born with a birth defect called spina bifida, where my legs were crippled and my spine was only half grown. At the age of 6 years old, I had my legs amputated, and I was the second person in the world to ever have this surgery done, where they actually removed my tibia, removed my leg bones, and rebuilt my spine out of my leg bone. What a humbling, terrifying experience, of course, for my parents at that time, being so young. But for me, as a 6-year-old, I didn't really understand what that meant and didn't really understand what the doctors were doing to me. But sure as I knew, as soon as I woke up out of that surgery, I knew my life was going to be forever changed and different. My life has been a struggle, but the struggles are something that I've been able to build on in my entire life. I don't look at them as struggles per se. People might look at my life and say, wow, he's gone through a lot. Yes, it seems overwhelming. There has been some things where I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get through them. But one thing I know, I can always rely on God to get me through those tough days, to help me get through the times that I've been sick. And there's been a lot of them. I've been in the hospital probably over a year if I counted over the days that I've had to spend the night in the hospital. I've had 2 kidney transplants. I had one in 2009 that I got from my brother Luke. He was so gracious into giving me one of his kidneys. I went through over a year and a half of dialysis for that. Luke's kidney lasted for 9 years, and after 9 years, my body started to reject his kidney. And then I started looking for another kidney, and most of you may know me from that story and how I went for that search, and I called it Make Dano Great Again, and we were on this big, large online campaign trying to find another kidney, and thankfully, after 3 years, we're able to find another kidney. I had 11 people, close friends of mine, go and get tested to try to give me their kidney. But every one of those people ended up being a non-candidate, and they weren't able to donate to me. And that's what built my character. That's what built who I am, is getting through all those tough times. And now I have this television show that I'm able to share with you a little bit of encouragement each and every week about something that I've been through or an attitude that I've had and been able to overcome, something that has been a struggle or a tough time for me. But hey, I consider myself completely blessed. God has given me this great voice and this awesome body, what I have left of it, to be able to share with you guys a little bit of encouragement each and every week. That hey, if we rely on God, He is there to get us through those tough times. I know when I went through these kidney transplants, I went through 8 close calls where I got called to Pittsburgh. And each time I got called there, I thought I was going to get my new kidney and be able to come through this and start my life over again. But every time that was filled with disappointment that something else happened that I wasn't able to get that kidney. And let me tell you, those were dark days. Those were tough days to get through. When I would get those calls that I got so excited that, hey, life was going to change. I was going to get my life back. And then find out that, hey, they weren't a match or something else was wrong with the kidney or was wrong with me that I couldn't receive it. And I had some dark days there where I just didn't know how I was going to get through that. But I was encouraged by friends. I was encouraged by God in my heart by giving all those cares and all those struggles to Him. That's something that my whole life has been based on, is when I go through a tough time, I know I can rely on God to get me through it. And I build my life on those struggles and my faith, because God is getting me through those things. I know when he's got me through something minor or something really hard when I was younger, that builds my faith to get through what's coming up next. And like I said, there's been a lot of them, over 49 surgeries I think I'm at now that I've had to endure in my life. I probably spent more time worrying about surgeries and my health than I have worried about anything else. But there are those times that I rely on God, and that's why I want to encourage you guys today, and the people that are just tuning in are like, who is this guy? What's he doing? My life has just been all about encouragement in my faith, and I just want to get that point across to you guys today, that whenever you're going through a tough time, I'm not here to preach to you, but I'm here to tell you that God is there to help you. If you just rely on him, maybe you don't have that relationship with him at all, you can contact me, shoot me an email, let me know. I'll be willing to talk to you a little bit more about it and share with you how to get to know who God is and what Jesus has done for us. But yeah, my show is about encouragement. My whole life has hopefully been an inspiration to others. I hear that all the time. It's not something that I put myself on a pedestal, and by any means. I don't have it all figured out. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Trust me. But I am here to encourage you and pray for you. And hopefully what I've been through has been an encouragement to you. And that's really what I want to get out of this opportunity God has given me. All these struggles that it's not about me at all. It's about showing who God is through these struggles and through the things that he's brought me through. It's not about Dano and Dano having a great attitude, or Dano, wow, I just can't imagine what he's been able to do. It's not about that at all. It's about what God has done for me in my life. And that's what I really want to share with you each and every week, that God is there for us. He can encourage you and help you get through those tough times like he has done for me. And that's the whole point of this whole thing, is to show who God is through it all. So I hope that encourages you today. Like I said, reach out to me. Let me know how I can pray for you, how I can encourage you today. And let's head back to the kitchen and enjoy some awesome food. Hey, welcome to the dining room today. We have our pumpkin cheesecake here. We just pulled it out of the fridge, threw a little whipped cream more on top. Guys, let's dive in. Let me know what you think here. Now for me,
wow,
this is pretty darn good.
This is very good. So creamy.
Yeah. Chow, you're the guy.
Not usually a fan of pumpkin stuff, not gonna lie, but it's pretty good. I like the cheesecake flavor with it a lot. I think that really
saves
it for me.
Troy's a fan. I'm a fan. Hope y'all are a fan as well. Thanks so much for tuning in, checking us out today. I hope you're able to try this recipe for your family at home. And thanks so much for tuning in to Dano on the Counter. We'll see you next week. Take care.